Namaskar and welcome. Our phrase for this week is, if you have even one drop of love for God, everything will be fine. We're on a long journey, the journey to enlightenment and self-realization. And if you want to persevere and succeed on such a journey, you've got to have a sense of optimism. And that can be very hard to maintain in the face of one's own setbacks, problems, weaknesses, some of which, seem virtually insurmountable. And, I'm no exception in that at times I have felt this is just too much, and felt pessimistic about my possibility of making progress and reaching the goal. And it was the characteristic of our master, Sri Ananda Murti, that he was just, one of his jobs, I think, was to keep encouraging us and supporting us and make us feel that it was possible. So it was constantly positive and reinforcing this idea that you can achieve enlightenment, you can achieve self-realization. Not only that, you can achieve it in this very lifetime. And it was often that we might come into a talk feeling despondent and come out of it feeling energized and encouraged and inspired. And one of those particular phrases that really made me relax and feel better about my prospects was this phrase: if you have even one drop of love for God, everything will be fine. And when I heard it, I thought, well, I was certainly not the world's greatest devotee. There are many others whom I have to acknowledge as being far, far greater. And but I've got that one drop. I do feel some love for the divine. I've got that one drop, and that's all I need. And what it helped me to do was to focus on what I do have, my asset, and to start with that and work with that. Okay, I've got my one drop of love, and what can I do to grow it, to expand it? And so I found it very, very uplifting. And when I think about it, there's another aspect to this phrase, because it is a very trusting phrase. And when you trust, you invite the divine into your life. When you don't trust, when you think, okay, I've got only myself to rely on, then you tense up, you're afraid, you block out the opportunity. By focusing on doing it yourself, you don't leave the door open for the divine to come in and help. But when you have this simple childlike trust that, I love you, and I trust you, and I rely on you, not in any kind of lazy sense, but just in the knowledge that this goal of enlightenment is something superhuman, and no average human can reach it without divine grace and assistance. So when we think of this phrase, that I just need that drop of love, and it's a trusting phrase, and having that kind of innocent trustfulness is what, it is the helpless, trusting quality of babies which makes parents reach out and help them and love them and take care of them. They feel a sense of responsibility. And in the same way, I think the more that we trust and rely upon the divine, the more we invite that caring, compassionate assistance that any parent would give. Of course, the divine, whether, whoever, whatever we are the children of the divine. So the divine is always compassionate and helping. But when we refuse to acknowledge, when we refuse to surrender, when we insist on doing everything ourselves, it's kind of like we're erecting barriers that keep that grace away. I love that saying from our master, that some people complain that they're not receiving divine grace, but the divine grace is raining on everyone all the time, and the problem is that these people are holding up an umbrella, the umbrella of ego. Just remove that umbrella and let that divine grace fall on you. So one way to remove that umbrella is just this trusting, innocent, I love you, if only a little bit, but I do love you. And I'm relying on you. I know that I can't reach this goal of enlightenment without your care and assistance. So I'm trusting you. And it awakens a kind of sweet and intimate sense of relationship to the divine. So it brings beauty, it brings a certain amount of confidence, it brings a release from fear and tension and worry, all wonderful things, and it just invites the magic, it allows the magic is always there, it just allows it to come into our life more fully. So there it is, the phrase for this week. If you have even one drop of love for the divine, everything will be fine. Namaskar.